Hey everyone, welcome to Dollar Games, and we're halfway through 2025, believe it or not. And if you're like me, your backlog is starting to look less like a to-do list and more like a personal attack. But it's not slowing down. From long-awaited remakes to ambitious new IPs, the back half of this year is stacked. So today, we're breaking down the most anticipated games still to come in 2025, month by month. Not everything on this list is day one dollar certified, but I will be playing them, so let's dive in. Now first up, July, where we're getting two wildly different doses of nostalgia, and the first game on that list is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. After the wild success of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake, fans were practically begging for 3 and 4 to get the same treatment. And now it's real. Vicarious Visions has brought back everything you remember. Iconic levels like Airport, Suburbia, and Kona Skate Park, polished with upgraded visuals and modern physics tweaks. The biggest draw this time around is how they expanded every level to feel more alive, more reactive, and more connected than ever before. Suburbia now has dynamic weather, the Foundry has layered verticality, and Kona Skate Park is practically a physics playground. Classic objectives return, but with new twists. You've got secret routes and collectibles tailored for both longtime fans and first-time players, and then there's the online suite. Free skate with friends, drop into spontaneous tournaments, or create and share parks that finally feel like full-blown levels thanks to the massively upgraded park editor. There's even cross-platform leaderboards and a built-in replay system so you can actually show off that ridiculous combo chain you spent 3 hours perfecting. It drops July 11th, and it's the perfect game to play alongside other big JRPGs in my backlog, so this is getting a day one dollar certified. Now next on my list, and also coming out in July, after more than 2 decades away from the 3D platforming, Donkey Kong is finally back in a big way. Donkey Kong Bonanza is a brand new adventure for the Switch 2, and it's a full-on reinvention of what Donkey Kong games can be. This isn't another side-scroller. It's a sprawling 3D sandbox filled with secrets, verticality, and chaos. Very much in the spirit of Mario Odyssey, but with that Donkey Kong charm, as you say it. Set in a massive underground world beneath Donkey Kong Island, Bonanza trades the typical jungle canopy for glowing caverns, crumbling ruins, and industrial mines overrun by this mysterious corporation called Voidco. Nearly everything in the environment is destructible, and that's not just for show. It's part of how you progress. You'll be smashing walls, cracking floors, and opening up new pathways as you hunt for golden bananas, which now serves as the game's main collectible and progression system. What makes Bonanza especially charming is its new companion character, Odd Rock, a tiny stone creature with surprising personality. Together, DK and Odd Rock can traverse corrupt terrains, solve environmental puzzles, and access hidden areas through tag team abilities. Throw in some rail cart sections, mine-based exploration, some side-scrolling bonus stages, and a fully voiced cast, and this isn't just a return to form, it's the biggest evolution Donkey Kong has seen in decades. Personally, I've been waiting for a 3D Donkey Kong game for years, and this looks like the perfect way to bring him back. I'm giving this a certified day one dollar stamp of approval. So moving on, looking at August, it's looking pretty slim, but there is one game I am super excited for, and that is Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Now this marks the long-awaited return of a Sega legend. The game fuses the brutal challenge of 2D precision combat with sleek, stylized visuals and modern stealth mechanics. When this was announced at the February State of Play, I was just blown away by the aesthetics of this game. The hand-drawn look to it, plus it being a Shinobi game, sold it instantly. So you play as Joe Musashi, but not the version you remember. He's older, quieter, and has dealt with a lot. The game explores his journey for redemption in a war-torn feudal Japan touched by the supernatural corruption. Missions are non-linear and reward you based on how aggressive you are or how well your ability to evade is like a true ninja. What's especially promising is how much emphasis the devs are putting into customization. You'll be able to unlock new ninja arts, craft unique weapon builds, and engage in skill-based duels with rival shinobi. Art of Vengeance looks like a comeback worth waiting for. In terms of new games, August is not packed with games that I plan to play day one, but this game might end up being a perfect palate cleanser between games in my backlog. So I don't want to say it's a day one dollar certified, but it's close. So you know how I was saying August wasn't stacked? Well, September is completely the opposite. I don't know how I'm going to get through these games or what games I'm going to play, but let's get into those games. So for years, the Trails series has built a reputation as one of the deepest, most rewarding RPG sagas around. But let's be honest, it's always been notoriously intimidating to jump into. That changes this September with Trails in the Sky First Chapter, a full remake designed to give new players a smooth on-ramp into the world of Zemuria. The visuals have been upgraded, performance is sharper across the board, and English voice acting brings new life to its already excellent script. But the real heart of this game has never been flashy graphics or big set pieces. It's the writing. Estelle and Joshua's journey is a slow-burning coming-of-age story packed with warmth, wit, and just enough mystery to pull you deeper each time you think you're done. Every town feels lived in, every side character has a purpose, and even the smallest Bracer Guild job somehow ties into the world in a meaningful way. Falcom's approach to storytelling is patient, almost stubbornly so, but it pays off in spades. First Chapter is the foundation for a story that spans continents and generations. Whether you've been waiting for the right moment to start, or you're a longtime fan itching to relive it with updated visuals, this is the version that makes diving into Trails finally feel effortless, and just as emotional as ever. And this game gets the biggest day one dollar certification of the year. I will drop everything I'm doing to play this, and I hope you will too. And if you don't, I'll try not to judge you. Maybe. We'll see. Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree is a brand new reveal shown at Summer Game Fest. It's a stunning action RPG roguelite that honestly took me by surprise. Between the art style and the Guardians you can choose from, I'm looking at you, Daddy Koi, it got me excited to play it. You play as Toa, a gentle spirit who must revive the dying Sacred Tree by forming bonds with elemental guardians. The gameplay is kind of a mix of real-time combat and puzzle solving, with each elemental guardian granting unique traversal and combat abilities. Like most roguelike games, you'll be able to unlock abilities or forge weapons as you go through each of your runs. Honestly, I don't know a lot about this game, but it has definitely caught my eye. It might not be a day one dollar certified game due to how unlucky it is coming out the same day Trails in the Sky does, but it's definitely going to work its way into my backlog for some time before this year ends. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, for the longest time I just didn't give Silent Hill F the attention it deserved since it was announced. But after seeing the new trailer recently, I'm definitely sold on this game. Set in the 1960s Japan, this installment blends classical horror themes with Japanese folklore and body horror, all written by none other than Ryukishi07, the mind behind the animes Higurashi and Umineko, which I'm sure means we'll leave this experience a little more messed up than when we started. The setting itself is a departure from the foggy industrial Americana of the earlier games. Instead, this is a slow burn through villages and crumbling shrines. The horror here is less about jump scares and more about creeping dread, with decay, obsession, and transformation as the central themes. Early previews point to a heavier narrative focus with branching choices and multiple endings. If you're into psychological horror that messes with your perception of reality, Silent Hill F is already scratching that itch. I might have to move this game up in my backlog due to how much I love Japanese-style horror, and this seems to tick all of those boxes. But I don't think it'll end up being a day one dollar certification due to Trails and being stuck in that game. But I will be playing this one no matter what, so it's on my list. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles is exactly what fans have been waiting for. After being hinted at for years following the Nvidia leaks, we finally got this announcement on the Sony State of Play. I was hoping for a bit more to this release, but I'm just glad to see it's coming to modern consoles. Now, this edition includes 2 ways to play: a faithful classic mode using the War of the Lions version, and a modern enhanced mode with updated visuals, a new UI, and fully voiced acting for key story scenes. Now, the enhanced mode also includes a bunch of smart quality of life improvements. You can now adjust the game's speed, zoom in and out during battles, and even tweak the difficulty. something that'll be a big help for newcomers trying to wrap their head around the zodiac signs and job trees, or also just me who might want a bit of an easier time trying to get through it. Longtime fans will appreciate the attention to detail, from the polished menus to the more cinematic camera angles during combat. Even better, this remaster is being overseen by some of the original creators, so the tone, writing, and pacing all feel authentic. There are also new cutscenes and expanded dialogue between Ramza, Dalida, and other key characters that help flesh out the story in this new section called the State of the Realm. And if you're getting it on the Switch, there's a free upgrade to the Switch 2 version when that drops. Whether you're returning for your 10th playthrough or finally seeing what the hype is about, the Ivalice Chronicles looks like the definitive version of a genre-defining classic. I believe I'll be knee-deep in Trails in the Sky first chapter when this comes out, so this might end up being a day 2 dollar certification. Now, October is definitely not as stacked as September, but there are a couple of games I want to highlight, so here they are. So back in 2020, Ghost of Tsushima hit at just the right moment. Deep in the heart of the pandemic, it became more than just a game to me. It was something to escape into. I explored every inch of Tsushima, chased every fox, and yes, I platinumed it. So when Sony finally pulled the curtains back on Ghost of Yotei, the next chapter in the series, I was already sold. Set 329 years after the events of the original game, Ghost of Yotei tells the story of Atsu, a lone ronin who assumes the mantle of Onryo, a vengeful spirit from Japanese folklore, to track down the Yotei Six, a brutal band of masked outlaws who destroyed her life and family 16 years prior. Mount Yotei's haunted slopes serve as the new stage, replacing Tsushima's war-torn beauty with something darker, more twisted, and undeniably supernatural. This isn't just a story of honor, this is one of grief, rage, and spiritual reckoning. My favorite part of the previous game is how they dealt with the UI and its minimalism. It was just beautiful, and the screen wasn't cluttered with all this unnecessary information. I especially loved the usage of wind and how it related to the main character's father, showing him the way. The way it applied to the mechanics of the game is both creative and incredibly easy to follow. What makes Ghost of Yotei so compelling isn't just its setting or its mechanics, it's the emotional arc it promises. Atsu isn't trying to protect her land, she's trying to reclaim what was stolen from her, spiritually and physically. The addition of supernatural elements adds a fresh layer to the stealth and swordplay, and the Yotei 6 are shaping up to be some of the most distinctive targets in modern gaming. If Ghost of Tsushima was a love letter to samurai cinema, Yotei is like a ghost story sequel, haunting, personal, and potentially even more powerful. The game releases October 2nd, and is 100% a day $1 game. No doubt about it. Digimon Story Time Stranger is a game I'm super hyped for. And I already did a video about this series and the game last week, so check that out if you want a bit of a more deep dive into the series. Now this game is taking the Cyber Sleuth formula and warping it across timelines. And honestly, it's the most ambitious Digimon game in years. You play as a time diver, a hacker flung across eras of the digital world to repair broken histories, confront twisted versions of classic Digimon, and uncover a branching narrative that evolves with your choices. It's still turn-based at its core, but with slick new mechanics like timeline manipulation and conditional evolutions that change depending on which version of history you're in. That means your team builds aren't just about stats, they're about which version of Agumon or Renamon even exists in your current timeline. Combine that with the visual style that's darker, glitchier, and even more mature, and it's clear this isn't just for kids raised on the anime. It's aimed at the fans who never left. Digimon is shaping up to be a way more intriguing series that has digivolved into something new fans and old fans alike can enjoy. Also, in my opinion, Pokemon can learn a thing or two from this series. Between the graphics, lived-in world, and themes, they should look into incorporating it into their next set of games, but you know, they won't. Honestly, I want this to be a day $1 game, but with it coming out on October 3rd and Ghost of Yotei coming out the day before, I think it might end up being a fast follow after I finish Yotei. So yeah, 2025 isn't just backloaded, it's overloaded. Whether you're chasing ghosts, grinding tactics maps, or getting comboed in a skate park, there's something for everyone in these final months. Which game are you most excited for? Drop it in the comments, and bonus points if it's not Final Fantasy Tactics, because we already know. Don't forget to like, sub, and ring that bell so you don't miss my next video. Until next time, take care, everyone.